Hey everybody, welcome to this weekend edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I am your host, Chuck Fulkerson. A special welcome to the members from tradersarmy.com for our core market perspective. We're going to do what we do each and every day here on our Daily Market Commentary. We're going to look at the same futures markets, 10 to 12 futures markets, and identify potential trade opportunities. But on the weekend edition, we always tend to look at it from a slightly bigger picture, and we like to release this thing after the futures markets open up, so we have a little bit of time to digest what has happened over the weekend. So let's dive right in. So first of all, starting with the S&P. So the S&P 500 last week had a pretty rough week, and that rough week was really headlined by a lot of the taxes and a potential of the potential trade war, if you will, that people are talking about is brewing. But all in all, we rallied pretty strong on Friday. And on Friday, we rallied off of this area right down in here. So this area down here, I will tell you, I was not willing to take a long off of this area. I was, however, willing to look at a breakout long above this level right here. Now, we got that breakout at the very end of the day on Friday. And, you know, one of the things that I did mention is that we don't necessarily want to hold these things over the weekend. So if you're not into this breakout long, I don't think it's bad if you still hold off a little bit before an entry, maybe have it get there one more time before you're willing to jump in on it. And once that does occur, you know, there's room for it to continue to run. Because looking at this on a bigger picture scale, you know, looking at our daily chart, we have put in a lower swing low. We have not yet put in a lower swing high. And this Friday's candlestick was a very bullish candlestick pattern, that long lower wick in an area where we could get a reversal. If you are a little bit more risk averse, you could wait until we get above Friday's high before you get in. And that would be the candle-to-candle style of trading that we've talked about, is just getting long after it rallies through this, call it the 2697 area. The actual high on that candlestick was, if I'm reading it properly, 2696. So if it gets above 2697, potential long right through there, maybe even wait for above 2700, and then we could see if it does indeed continue to move higher. If I look at it on a weekly time period, we're still, you know, we've started for the last month or so, we've been basing. Essentially, it's a basing chart. This is a basing marketplace, and that's really the hardest market position for swing traders to be in and to be making money. And this is where it's important to have some sort of a long-term investment strategy and plan in place. For day trading, for intraday trading, there's still lots of opportunities that are available if you are going to put in the time to intraday trade on this style of market. So what am I looking at right now is smaller time period on the hourly chart. I'd still want to see some sort of a breakout above above this area through here before I would be willing to get long, doing it more on the breakout than on the reversal. If indeed we do fall from this level, you've got plenty of room to fall. So, you know, you could theoretically have a breakout short below this area here, and a breakout long above this area here. So you could really play the breakout either direction, and I don't think you'd be burnt one way or the other. I feel like this is the kind of market where it'll pop eventually. Now, I'm not sure which direction that's going to be, and I'm not trying to prognosticate. I just want to make sure that I've got a plan in place either way. When we look at it from a bigger picture scale, our bigger picture 4-hour trend direction is down. Not on the daily, but on the 4-hour, it definitely is. On the daily chart, we got a little bit more of a reversal, and that's why sometimes it's better. Discretion is the better part of valor quite often. So just keep that in mind. Now, the NQ, we had our breakout long right here. We're still above there in the NQ. So the Nasdaq performing a little bit better, a little bit stronger right now. Only down 8 here in the Sunday futures market. So still have a couple of reversal trades set up in place for the Nasdaq, if those indeed do come in. Looking here at crude oil. So crude oil is up a little bit in pre-market trading. I do see a potential reversal in crude right here. If we do make it up to here, I think you could get a reversal right off this area here. So keep that area in mind as a potential reversal. This area right through here as a potential reversal going forward. Make sure that the arrival is strong enough and that you've got enough reward to risk, but I think we could get a reversal off of that area there in crude. Looking at gold, we're still between two pretty important areas in our gold markets, so we're going to let that one be and live and let live, if you will. Going to the bonds. Now we do have an area in bonds set up for a reversal. We have seen a lot of weakness in bonds on a bigger picture scale. I mean, going out to this thing on a weekly, we've seen, just week after week after week of nothing but prices falling, and there's still plenty of room for those prices to continue to fall. And so I am much more a believer in some of these areas up here for potential reversals. There's a 4-hour. We had the area highlighted on the 1-hour time period for a potential reversal right up through here at the 121 level. So keep this area for a potential reversal in the future. I don't have a lot of bullish hopes right now in the bond arena. Looking at the Aussie, so the Aussie, we've got two areas set up. We're kind of chopping in between, not a whole lot of movement there. The euro, we had taken a long off this euro level. It is continuing to move. My guess is most people probably closed it down, probably shut it down before the weekend, but if you did not, it has continued to move. We were profitable on it Friday morning, and it's still rolling. The Canadian dollar has hit its profit target off of the breakdown short from this area here. We definitely would have had to move the stop down, but hits the profit objective, so that one closes out for the max profit objective on the Canadian dollar. All in all, currencies moving nicely. Great British Pound still in between two levels, and our Japanese yen, our breakout above our area, is continuing its run, and I think that we could get another run here. So if you're in this one, you may want to take that stop. If you haven't already done so, move that stop up below this area here to lock in some profits. We love to lock in those profits whenever we can. Looking ahead for the week, we really have to just kind of stay in touch with some of the individual big name stocks. I think it's not a bad idea to just keep in mind some of the individual big name stocks that tend to move the market and people tend to pay attention to. And the reason that we want to do that is because there's just, as these stocks like Apple get bigger and bigger and mean a lot more, you start to worry a bit more on what's their effect going to be. And Apple had rallied to a brand new all-time high before now selling off, but we did get a strong move on Friday, closing on the high right through here. So it'd be interesting to see if we continue to see strengths in stocks like Apple, stocks like Amazon, right? Our FANG names, if you will. Those are really what propelled the Nasdaq to new heights and really to 1% off of its highs. And we could see that kind of continue to carry the market forward. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to carry through to all the S&P stocks. Because these Amazons, the Amazons, the Facebooks, they don't have the Apples, they don't have as big of a weight in the S&P as they do in the Nasdaq. So just kind of keep that in mind when looking at how these are going to affect each of the indexes a bit differently. So I'm going to turn this thing off. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Until tomorrow, I will see you soon. Thanks.